Bitch, I'll cough on your food.
You should let them know.
Welcome to the after party.
Hop out to the real party at the fucking after party.
What you say again?
On some real shit, this dude right here that's holding the camera, he might be the next LeBron James.
You feel me?
Now, how you see it?
I'm a good host. I am a good host.
Oh, it's the party calling.
Welcome to the party, baby. I'm so glad you made it.
General.
Let me know when we're at, like, just hold a 5 up to let me know when we're at 5 minutes. Because if I ain't got shit to say, I'm gonna just cut the camera off. You feel me? Like, alright. But, alright, you ready? Yeah. Alright. Welcome to the after party, man. What's going on, Alex? How you feeling?
Good, brother. How are you?
I'm alright, man. I'm alright. I'm your host, Mr. Clutch. Also known as Mark Williams. Either or, it doesn't really matter. I don't give a fuck. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
But how you feeling? This is Alxvndertha.
Yes, it's your boy Alxvndertha, Cincinnati's own. Shit, just trying to make these strides out here, trying to continue to be great, bro. You already know what I'm about.
Facts, man. We last talked in December, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it feels like JR was just saying, like, bro, it felt like years. I
It's
really
felt
had
like
to
a
sit back
whole
and think.
year.
I was like, no, bro, for real. Each month has felt like a year for no reason.
Time standing still. Time's been still for the last 5 months. There was a point back when, like, quarantine first started and shit, I completely lost track of what day it was, like, for about 4 or 5 weeks. I just was living back, you know, before I go back to work and shit.
Facts.
Crazy.
How has work been?
Ass, I want to be an artist. No, it's terrible, bro.
Nah, that's straight fact.
But work is in itself, like, the whole grind, 9 to 5 shit, like, it's cool. I like making my money and shit, but my job specifically has inspired me to take my black ass back to school. So I went ahead and applied for Cincinnati State in the audio digital production program. So I'm basically going to be learning, like, all the shit that's useful towards what we do.
Simple.
And, you know what I'm saying, hopefully I can translate that shit into a new service or help other people out, kind of do some shit that you do and be able to work on my own shit better and make it better. So
We were just talking about logos getting made the other day, bro. It's like, man, you got to become a Swiss Army knife. I was telling you that a little bit. Pax is behind the camera, yo. Say what's up, Pax.
big packs.
Yeah, big Pax. Yeah, but, damn, what was I talking? Oh, yeah. No,
I got a
You gotta
story
be a
about-
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, you definitely gotta be multi-talented, multi-useful in this shit. That's something I'm starting to learn more and more about. I've been dealing with, like, online personalities a lot. Been dealing with a lot of Spotify curators, people who run playlists and shit, trying to determine who's real and who's not.
Yeah.
Different, like, artist management groups and shit like that. Just trying to find things to go up to the next level and stuff. So myself, I've started a promotions page where I'm just opening up. And, you know, people can send me clips of music videos or song covers or whatever the fuck they want. Real cheap prices. I call it Tri-City Promos on Instagram. So, just started that shit up, like, today, for real. And trying to get that shit off the ground. Trying to put a couple dollars in my pocket. Spread the love back to the community. So
That's all we can do at this point, man. You know what I'm saying? I know when that first stimmy hit, that blessed a lot of people's pockets, but that's definitely not enough for the 3 to 5 months, if not longer.
Did you get a check?
Nah, direct deposit.
Did you find it weird? I wasn't paying attention to the news, so I didn't really know we were getting stimulus checks. I just woke up to $1,200 in my account. Dead ass, bro. I called my mom. I was like, bro, this is a fucking mistake. Like, I got that Chime shit. Y'all come get this shit because I'm about to call a fucking plug and I'm about to go to the mall.
It didn't feel real, bro.
It didn't feel real at all.
Yeah.
I feel like it was one of those, I feel like it was like a right hook, though. Like, it's some meaning behind that stimulus checks. I feel like that man, when election time come around,
he gonna
look, remember them checks, bro, right? Either that or they gonna be counting votes and the IRS gonna have some personalized notes for some folks in February.
You hear that they about to, or that they're talking about dropping another one.
I hope to God they do.
Yeah, I would go crazy.
I hope to God they do. I'm gonna go stupid.
Crazy, bro. Really? At 5 minutes already? No, when it counts down from 20 to 5 minutes. That's my bad.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's my bad. I didn't explain that all the way. Look, this is Pax's first time being an intern, and it's okay. It's okay. He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. But
Jesus.
no, man, dude, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. What's been going on? You know, and you've been pretty vocal about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, where I work at downtown and shit, you know, they took the protest right past my job. We actually got to get off of work early one day. They brought in like the police. They were down there at the Justice Building, I believe, and so they had like a tank, and they had one of those like artillery trucks with the fucking gun on the top, and it was just posted down there, bro. And I remember going out for lunch. Me and a couple of my coworkers walked down there. So we were just, you know, being down there just to be in the mix, you know, just to show our support and shit.
Yeah.
And we seen that truck come up and we're like, oh shit, like what the fuck are they planning on doing? So I believe that was the day they had a big standoff, and then some bad shit happened that night. It wasn't like the looting and shit, but the cops, they flipped. That dude, whoever's the chief of police, I don't like him for real, because he told the guys on the front lines and shit, he took that knee or whatever. And then he started tear gassing folks at night and shit.
What?
It's terrible, bro.
That's not even legal.
It's fake. Fuck legal. It's just fake. You can't be on the face of shit. You can't be all here on the cameras and shit playing both sides. Like, a lot of people caught wind of that shit though, which is what I'm glad about. So
I didn't even hear about that till now. No, fuck, dude.
Yeah, bro. He's a dick.
Bro, no matter what it was, dude, you're tear gassing innocent civilians. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know the guy. Like, I don't really care. But if we're talking about human rights,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just find it funny that bro would even like you feel me? I can understand whatever side you want to stand on. I can't tell you which side to stand on, but stand on that side. Don't straddle both sides and, you know what I'm saying, flip flop and shit. Like, don't be fucking taking knees when news cameras are out and then be sending orders to mace and throw tear gas at people and trap them in alleyways and shit. Like, that's fucked up.
two-faced shit, bro.
They kept a lot of those kids. They didn't even put a lot of those kids in jail. So it was like when they had captured them after the curfews down here, they kind of just kept them in the parking lot all night. Like, there's videos and shit of people like having to piss on themselves and shit just for being out at 11:05 or whatever the fuck. I can't even believe they made the curfew like 8 o'clock at one point down here. It was crazy. Like,
damn. Like, we were getting the 10 o'clock curfew.
No, our shit was like 8 o'clock. Like,
bro, we never followed them. So.
We never followed it. It's just like they only enforced them like downtown, like in the OTR area and shit.
Yeah, I said there was cops out, but like no one ever got stopped ever. I get out of work at fucking midnight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit was crazy. I just couldn't believe they was doing that. Like, but you know what I'm saying? Favorite catchphrase in the world. It is what it is. We moved past the shit. So
yeah, it is what it is, man. Like, that's a lot of what we do is. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take the opportunities when they come, and when they pass, you gotta be like, bro, it is what it is. It wasn't meant for me. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't my catch. That wasn't coming to me. You know, it looked like it.
Enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You were talking about going to school though.
Yeah, so I'm trying to go to school. You know, following up. You know what we talked about in December and shit.
Yeah,
shit's been going real crazy. Like, numbers have been going up, you know, ever since Ground Up dropped. I believe that's when Ground Up dropped, for real.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Now that Fiji's out, fucking most played song, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, 1,000+. First song with 1,000 plays on Spotify. Like, that shit's nuts to me. I know it may not be the biggest stat or whatever, but like, dog, I don't know. I made that shit in my room. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
crazy.
I don't get it. But yeah, so since that shit has dropped, I just figured like, yeah, working this job, working 40 hours a week is cool and all, but like there's other ways to get to the money. And, you know, I'm a big believer in like time. So I don't feel like time waits for nobody. So I feel like there's a pathway or a way to learn, you know, get better at this craft and shit. I'm wasting time, you know what I'm saying, being here when I can, you know, spend some more time learning this shit. You know,
sure.
cool. and learning the shit, and then use that shit that I now know to forward and progress not only myself but other people that I come across with. It's the same process or same thought process that I took when I first started my music career. Like, I didn't just jump into downloading YouTube beats, and we talked about this. I didn't just jump into bullshit and, you know, finding this and clout chasing. Like, I learned what the fuck the shit means. Exactly. I learned how to make a song, how to do this, how to do that with the bare minimum shit that I had, and then turn that into becoming this artist that I'm becoming and shit now. So it's the same principle to me. It's just another topic and it's another chapter in this fucking long halfway.
It's sweet to see, especially since last December. What's going for you now? Mm-hmm. You dropped Longway. You dropped a whole nother tape. You got a whole nother tape coming.
Got a song with a top 50 artist in the state. Yeah. 50K plus. Shout out to Yali, by the way.
Yali.
You feel me? That's nutty.
But this is what it means to take the long way. Yeah, that's hard, bro.
That shit's nutty.
It's
bro.
hard.
That's just you know what I'm saying, like that's the fucking formula. That's what we live by. I literally made that shit for goddamn every fucking independent artist, you know, on the way with this shit. It's what it means, bro.
I love the line where you said, "I'm comfortable. I just want to see a brighter day." I was like, that's facts. Like, bro, you could easily cash out right now.
Easily just stay this independent underground artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do these local shows and shit, but like, why not try to go nationwide? Why not try to go? I got some bars in this upcoming album, Past vs. Present 2, hitting on stores July 4th. And I'm just talking about that shit, bro. Like, as far as my pen goes and shit, I've been working on my little gimmicks. I've been working on my little, you know what I'm saying, entendres and shit. But what I find most comfortable and what I find easiest to do is to just talk about shit that I know. Like, it's easy for me to put some shit into an image for a person who's listening that I know about versus talking about, like, getting a lot of money and spending a lot of money and doing this, that, and the third. But when I can talk about striving and, you know what I'm saying, trying to find success in these tasks or whatever, it's just a lot easier. So that's the kind of the role that I've stuck with and I'm going to stay with. So making Longway was just like like Longway and Fiji are damn near the same song. They talk about the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. One's different than the other, but like
Fiji's hard as hell.
Fiji's hard, but it's like it's still talking about the same shit that I'm talking about in Longway. It's just hitting the pavement every day, just grinding and shit. So I can make that shit spin a couple different ways. Why would I not just make that my little, you know what I'm saying? There's an audience for people who are, you know what I'm saying, hard working and this, that, and the third. They like turn up shit too. But like, and whenever I get features, whenever I'm featured on shit, like, of course I always give playful bars or do whatever I want to do. But that's like, I think that's my lane, bro. It's just the inspirational shit.
No, it's inspirational because your music shows. Like, you literally you recorded ground up from your phone, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, even the little, bro, you remember the last time we was like, wait till I show you the shit that I got so we can film. It's shit. Like, oh, like, you coming up. And I was like, nah, that's why ground up was my shit. Cause it's shit. Like, oh, we was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, Past vs. Present 2 is coming up. It's like intertwining and it connects.
Yes, sir.
Cause, bro, I really listen to your shit, bro.
Thank you, bro. Good. I appreciate that.
That shit's good, man.
I really do appreciate that shit.
Remember I came to you literally like last November. I was like, hey, bro, you trying to get on Forex? Yep. You know what I'm saying? Forex fell through. And I was like, bro, let's get this podcast. You know what I'm saying?
When you started TPC.
Shit crazy.
Now look at where it's at, bro. That's what I'm saying. Look how many different artists and shit you've made videos for. How the views and shit. I've seen the numbers, like, bro, I might not have seen every video, but I see the numbers.
It's crazy.
Like,
it's crazy. You just like, this is something that you created.
You traveling, real talk.
So you about
real
to
talk.
But
you started traveling to go work.
Yeah.
Based off of TPC.
Well, you got to.
I was the first TPC artist on the channel.
That's true.
That's true. That's what we talking about here.
I'm gonna have to redrop that video. Cause I had to make everything private when I started cracking those algorithms. You know what I'm saying? Like, you try a bunch of shit and then you keep it private, but I'll always have it. You know what I'm saying?
archived
Yeah.
and shit.
And then you can re-release it. Like, that's how you do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. You can come back, like, yo, remember when this happened December 2019, right before Corona, now look at them. Now you can repurpose that. Like, there's a lot of ways that you can, like, it's not even, because we were talking about cloud chasing versus strategic marketing. Like, that's strategic marketing. Like, if you really legitimately look at where I came from to where
Focus
I am
on
now.
one point. Like, look at your last video that you did for Alex Soul. Is that how you pronounce it?
Also, yo, that's my man, bro.
Oh, the X is like, it's like X Soul. Oh, okay.
Well, his inspiration is from Absol.
Got you. But yeah, just look at that video, right? And that was the last thing we've done. That's the last thing that you've done versus when we did the Cincinnati freestyles. Yeah. It doesn't even feel like we did them shits that long ago. But like, you go back and watch, Jesus Christ, that cipher was cringe as fuck. It was good,
cringe, but it was fire. Like,
it
that's
was
what I was
cringe
telling you.
because it was about the quality, but like that's the beauty in it though.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be cringe.
Yeah.
And you go back and look at anybody's first whatever, it's cringe,
like,
bro.
Like, dude, that is
I don't
terrible.
care who the fuck they are. You feel me?
Well, I was holding the camera from the fucking phone, you know, or from my hands.
That's what
it's
I'm
not
saying.
Like I have to stay like it's a whole shoulder rig over there.
That's what I'm saying.
So
we made the shit happen from the ground up. No pun intended. No pun intended.
No, all
bro.
pun intended. Fuck that. All
that.
pun. Ground up.
I'm just saying. We literally come from, like, I'm not gonna say we come from the mud, but like, bro, that meaning means two different things. Like, yeah, that means like the slums and shit, but really it just means
Wherever
you're coming from wherever the fuck
you
you started, bro. Like, you started with headphones and
there's people that are homeless in
camcorders and
Gehenna
shit.
though. Like, that's not even a cap.
Huh?
There's people that are homeless in Gehenna. In Columbus, it's just such a big city where it shouldn't look like that, but it's real. That just happens, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People just got families, so they can just, you know, stay with their
people to lean on,
like,
but
you know
I
what I'm
know
saying?
people
Like,
who's
for sure.
homeless in Columbus who won't lean on their families. You know what I'm saying? It's a choice.
Yeah,
It's a choice
It
to
is a
get out of
choice.
that situation.
it is a choice, bro. You know, I feel like that's the crippling part. At sometimes, you know, are you gonna stand up on your own, or are you gonna like?
I know when it was me, I was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, nah.
You never seen me on the corner with no sign and shit. I remember going to work. I was working at this Gap warehouse. It was all the way in Groveport, and I stayed on campus, bro. And like, I didn't have no money. I was making $100 a week, making $12.50 an hour.
Yeah.
Why? Because I only had gas to go to that fucking job one day out the week, every week. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Made
crazy.
it happen though. Like, stack the shit up. So it can be done. I was just having a conversation with somebody yesterday about that shit. It's just like, it's not an excuse to lean on drugs or anxieties or any of that, because everybody has those problems. Everybody deals with them shits one way or the other. But the people that separate, or the things that separate the people who are where we're trying to get to and where we are now, individually, whoever that is the work that you put into it and the attitude that you put behind it. This is the reason why you were able to record ciphers and shit, holding a fucking cell phone, you know what I'm saying, talking into a mic that wasn't plugged in, blah, 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 whatever problems we deal with.
Fucking mic right now.
That's what I'm
like,
saying,
you know what
bro.
Like, dude, that's why I be talking there, bro. That's why I be telling people, like, bro, fuck that excuse that you keep leaning on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck that. Like,
And
get
I
up.
love how that shit ties into why I went back to school. It's just that same decision. Like, why would I go and pay? You know what I'm saying? Just how we talked about. Why would I go and pay for studio time and doing this and letting somebody else talk me into what work I need to do and that or whatever? It's like going to the mechanic. You know what I'm saying? You take your song to the producer. Right. If I know how to fix my own car, I ain't got to worry about some motherfucker telling me, oh, your brakes is fine, but you need your tires rotated and you need, you know what I'm saying, whatever. I hate that shit, bro. I'm teaching myself how to do my own shit.
Yeah.
It's all the same shit, bro.
Is it rolling? Alright, but no, dude, exactly. Bro, there's no reason not to be out here getting it. It's not gonna be the best off rip, you know what I'm saying? You just starting, like, you've been doing this music shit, you know, actually putting your direct efforts towards music every day for, you know, maybe a year, 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Look at where you're at. You put in way more work than I have in a short 6 months. You know what I'm saying? But me seeing the fruits of the labor that I put in, you know what I'm saying, in that short 6 months, I should have been doing this that whole first year I even thought of it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't dwell. But at the same time, you be like, oh, let me continue to put in this work. That's what I was explaining to you earlier, bro. I was like, bro, man, I'm not gonna sit up here and not try and produce the best podcast that I possibly can. Right. Like, what's gonna set me apart from being any other visual, filmmaker? That's fine. You know what I'm saying?
I work at this. I work at this. Excuse me.
No, you good.
Performing arts school.
Yeah.
Man, you want to talk about like saying how you wish you had just been putting the work in since whatever? Dog, this school, you can literally run my operation, Pax's operation, Lizard, Clutch, yours, Armada's, any of these operations out of this entire school, all just off of a floor by floor basis. You know what I'm saying? In the basement, they got a big ass recording studio. They got 3 giant auditoriums, one with seats, one with no seats, so you can have standing audience versus sitting. You got green screens, video, cameras, lights, all that shit, bro. These kids are so fucking lucky just to have the opportunity to be attending this school and get to choose, whatever path they want to go and have actual, people who work in these fields, people who worked with. There's a guy, I believe he's the band teacher. His name is Stucky. And this nigga at one point was in the studio. I hear it from my custodian co-workers all the time. This nigga was in the studio working on shit, engineering shit with Prince and Michael Jackson back in the 80s. And he just works down at SCPA, teaches kids, percussion or whatever. Kids are learning from the best. You know what I'm saying? Makes me jealous as hell working there because I'm like, why? I wish I would have went there instead of going to public school.
Look at how good you are without that training.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Though, how you talk about the fruits of you getting your shit now, and you seeing how what you're doing now is getting you what you got. Yeah. Like it only makes you think, damn, if I would have did this back then.
But I only thought of this. But that's where you got to be patiently aggressive too. You know what I'm saying? Because I never thought I was gonna be doing this a year ago, or even a year and a half ago. Damn near not 2 years ago. So it's like I gotta let it come. Like it's out of a necessity. You know what I'm saying? It's not out of because I gotta eat. Yeah. It's not about.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so I gotta figure out what can I do that I like that I can also eat from.
My whole thing was I always wanted to do this, but the thought of it was so unattainable, and getting to where I actually want to be was so far-fetched and unrealistic that I was steered a different way. So I always wanted this, always had this in my back pocket, but the fear of failing, you know what I mean, always kept me from really stepping light into it until I hit the point in my life where I was just like, it's now or never. You know what I'm saying? Now you don't got nobody to tell you what you can or can't do. You know what I'm saying? Got no limits, no restrictions. You're in a fucked up situation, but it's yours to make it.
Let's go.
And it was just like from there on, I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Seen a couple artists who were doing it, and I was just like, fuck, if they can do it, why the fuck can't I? You know what I'm saying? And then just went headstrong after that. Yeah. Here we are. Yeah. So it works, bro. It works both ways, but it's just like it can be broken down by, plenty of different methods and plenty of different ways. But it's just, the ones who are putting the work in, whoever they are, wherever they are the ones who are going to see the results. As long as you don't stop. That's what all the big time people say. As long as you don't stop, you're going to get there. You know what I'm saying? It's just like whatever. I'm a strong believer in that shit. Like,
don't quit, bro.
That's it. That's literally it. Like, just don't quit.
What is I read something the other day on Twitter. It said the first 9 years of success are the hardest, and I was like, really think about how long 9 years is. Mm-hmm. So if they tell you not to stop, and then you see shit like that, you're like, oh, okay. So it just gets better over time. So the more you do it.
I've dealt with that shit. My fault. I ain't
no, bro. We this the after party, bro.
Type shit.
Right? You feel me?
Come
on, the vibes.
I thought about shit like that too, cause I'm like, damn. They say 10 years, bro. Like 10 years when I was 21, 20. I was like, that means I wouldn't be, quote famous or whatever, but like I wouldn't be making it till I was 30, 31 type shit. And I was just like, by then will I have, will I have kids? Will I have like all these different, shit start popping in my head, and that's the shit that slowed me up. But then that's when you think, all right, bro, look at this nigga Drake. Look at Meek Mill. Look at 2 Chainz. Look at Future. Like, look at all these old, 30 plus they're not old, but like 30 plus motherfuckers.
But that's older.
They're not 20, 21 running around, doing shit anymore. Yeah. But they're in their own lanes. They still got, everything that you would want in life type shit. They can still do whatever they want. Go wherever they want.
Whatever they want. Like,
it's honestly where you'd want to be. Like, that's when you really made it.
Yeah.
And I didn't figure that shit out until I started on my path. Like, I used to think about when, I like to think about Yachty, Uzi, Ski Mask, X, all these,
Kodak.
All these guys that, kind of got the world's attention within the last 4 or 5 years, right? And I've been a music fan since before them. I've got artists that I like before them. I'm not saying they're the GOATs, but like they're definitely the first ones. Yeah. They're the ones that came out in all of this, you know what I'm saying, colorful shit, dreads colored up. And really that's not hip hop. Motherfuckers before that was just like on some thug shit, on some gangster shit, or some concert shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hip hop is rebellion.
And exactly.
That's
where I got the confidence to even do this shit by seeing them. Was just like, bro, these are kids. Yeah. Like, oh, he's 17, he's 19, oh, he's 24, and he's, running around here in some Vans on a skateboard on stage, like doing whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, kids are going crazy. Like, that's where I want to be. Like, I don't want to have to act like. I didn't want to do music and have to act like something that I wasn't. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just to stay afloat. Yeah. I didn't know if that's how the game worked. Because motherfuckers always talk about the game and shit and whatever. But I realized, and I mean, it's just a lot of things you realize once you start getting into your shit, once you start getting in your craft is, we're already in the game. Like, you feel me?
Exactly. We're here.
It's just like a big ass list of people. And those motherfuckers are up there towards the top, and I'm way down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really the fucking realistic fact of it. Me, I can go outside. I went 2 years ago. Me and my mom went to Norfolk, Virginia, and we had a layover flight in Chicago airport. So we had to wait there for a few hours. We get off the plane from Norfolk, and then from Chicago to CVG in Kentucky. And I'm on the escalator going up the stairs, bro. If I'm lying to you, let this be the last day that I walk this earth. But I turn around, and it's a freshly shaven face fucking Lil Uzi Vert right behind me. This nigga is just right behind me on the escalator. I swear to God. So I turn around, right, and he's sitting there. He's got his earbuds in. He's bobbing his head. He's, I was like rapping himself or some shit. And I start following him. I'm just like trying to get his attention. Like, I'm trying to follow behind him and just tell him, like, ask a question or two or whatever. And I say all that not to be boastful or be bragging, but like, if I were to have that interaction with him, you know what I'm saying? If shit were to go in my way and I were, say one thing and then he says another, then I could, be put into some very important people, and then I'm on my way. You know what I'm saying? Then I surpassed all this extra bullshit of work and all these years of struggle because I ran into Uzi at an airport and he took me with him wherever the fuck he was going. And now I'm at Rolling Loud and shit. That's how your boy that was dancing, what's his name? 10K or 10 Cash or whatever? 10K Cash or whatever? No, not 24 hours. Bro, he be dancing with Uzi. I'll show you. I'll pull up some videos and shit.
Oh, you talking about when the Don't Say That video came out and Uzi was dancing to it?
Yeah, the pudgy dude that be with him on stage doing that shit. They probably just linked up and he was like, bro, I fuck with that shit. Uzi's been doing it ever since. And he's been on stage with them, like, you know what I'm saying? When the Futsal Shuffle shit came out, he was up there when Uzi was rapping doing that shit. Like, it's just how you make those connections, and it's just at random that them shits happen. But I just say all that shit to say, like, you know, we're all in the same game, bro.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, people down here just gotta work a lot harder to get up there.
That's what I was telling somebody the other day. We're here already.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's just about that consistency. Like, yes, you can skip levels. Like,
Yeah.
if you met a little Uzi,
Or
if you
whoever,
you know what I'm
fucking
saying?
A&R, Coach
Yeah.
K at QC the label or
Yeah.
some shit, whoever, like.
But it also works the other way. Like, what if you give
You
somebody
could be
a
at the
version,
top.
that version,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying?
You
That
could
it
be
take
at the
off.
top and you could
There's
fall.
ways. There's ways. That's true as well.
I've seen that shit. I know people who's fallen too. It's just
Everybody. Well, I mean, I think it goes in cycles. You know what I'm saying?
it's just the work, bro.
Yeah.
I know people in Columbus who, you know, are great individual artists, but if you ask me, they have entitlement problems. You know, they think that because they have done this, that they deserve that. And it's like, if life hasn't told you that shit, like if you haven't done this amount of work and life has given you palm trees and poolsides and beaches,
Yeah.
then you obviously haven't done enough work. You know what I'm saying?
You have to deserve it.
You can't,
You have to deserve it.
and you can't be treating people any old kind of way
Like shit.
because
Right.
of who you are. You know what I'm saying, in society, or because you have this number of followers,
It
or
don't
because
matter.
you whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Never.
You can't-
It never has mattered. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, yo, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying?
people-
If I like the way you handle your business, then we can make lemonade. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Don't matter what we got.
When the world ends, no one's gonna remember how many followers you had.
That's what I'm saying,
Exactly.
bro. But
They
people
don't
who
know who you
live
are.
by that, people who live by the number of their followers, like, you know what I'm saying? You'll come across the girl or whatever, and she won't look at you or say give you the time of day because she's
Listen.
sitting 30-something K. You know what I'm saying? Or you can't get a comment or get a message back, and you just approach her on some hello shit.
A wise man
Or
once
whatever,
told me.
bro. Like, it's crazy.
Wise man once told me if she's above 10K, she's for the streets.
She's for the streets.
She's for the streets.
That shit is hilarious.
It is what it is.
I was watching that shit today too. He said, "You can't get she's for the streets."
She's for the streets, my nigga.
That shit's funny.
But nah, dude, everything you said so far has been great, and everything you've ever said has been great.
It's just
Has been true.
it's just you
It's
know
fact.
you see the shit and it's dope because you learn it for yourself. It's dope to learn it for yourself. I'm not a preaching ass nigga. Like, I just like to speak about experiences and shit that I've gone through, and hopefully my shit rubs off on, you know what I'm saying? It's probably because I'm the oldest sibling out of fucking 6 boys, so I'm always telling, you know, somebody something. But like, and something's always been told to me by my dad or whoever male figure in my life. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, yeah, bro. You see a lot of shit. A lot of questions that I had at one point are slowly becoming answered, one by one. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's just like, how does this work, or how do I get this, or how do I get that? How does one do whatever? These questions are getting answered, and it's just dope because nobody's answering the questions but myself. You know what I'm saying? Something that I've thought that I would have to, you know, talk to somebody big or talk to somebody famous or whatever, somebody who's gone through some shit,
Yeah.
stuff that I've had those questions about, you know, thought I have to talk to him about. It's like, nah, I've answered that shit myself based off the shit that I've put myself through. You know what I'm saying? Based off the experiences that I've had since this shit started. Like, I remember the Mad Frog show, bro. And it was like,
What's that?
so I'll tell you the story. It was,
Venue on East McMillan.
yeah, it's like just down the street, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it was a company called Afton. And like, what you have to do, see how he just like, he's just like, these motherfuckers were some crooks, bro. They would like make you sell your own tickets. How many tickets did you have to sell, like, in order to have a clean performance? What was it? It was like a certain number.
You had to, if you sold like 10, like they'd still let you go. Like even if you sold like 5, they still let you go on.
But what was
like,
the number
to
that
get,
they
good
told
slots,
you?
like you had to sell at least 15 or 20.
Yeah, so like you had to sell like 20 tickets. You had to they would print you off these tickets, or you would order them online, or you had to go to the link and pay for it. But you had to sell 20 tickets in order to like tell them what time slot you wanted to perform at, and then how long you wanted to perform. and that was just like no issues, right? If you sold 15 or 20, you sold 10, you got like one or the other. You either got a good time or you got a good show length. If you sold like 5, 10 or less, basically, it was like you'll get whatever the fuck they give you. You know what I'm saying?
You was going on first for 10 minutes.
Right. So what happened was they didn't tell you, they said like, oh yeah, you can sell tickets at the door. You know what I'm saying? People come and tell you at the, you know, they're coming to you at the door, then okay, we'll count that as ticket sales. So what happened was I would put my shit online, Instagram, and be like, yo, I'm performing here, buy tickets pre-sale, right? Boom, 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 whatever. Nobody would buy the shit. Everybody would say they were going to come. Nobody would buy the shit. Everybody would try to buy their shit at the door. So when the guy was doing like pre-roll count or whatever, I had 0 tickets on. The dude didn't even say my name on the list. Like, so I had to talk to him. We worked out this deal. I basically ended up paying him like $75.
No, I would just pay to get on stage. Like, you know
but he was like, you have to go first, and you only get to perform for like 10 minutes, like Pac said, which really turns out to be like 2 or 3 songs. Yeah. So I was just like, bro, that's ass. But like, I was like torn. Like, I want to do that because I want to get this shit over with and, you know, learn this shit and perform. But like, I wanted a spot. I had bigger expectations. Like, I'm all dressed up. I'm, you know, whatever. So, and, you know, Pac sees me sitting over there, bro. And I'm just like frustrated with the whole shit. But he comes over, he out of nowhere. I don't know him. He comes over, he talks to me, you know what I'm saying? He lets me know, just go out there, just kill the shit, just be myself, blah, blah, blah. Just be grateful for the opportunity. And that's what I ended up doing. It was just like, you know, it was a thrilling experience. So that whole thing, it was like, okay, you crossed that line, but now it's like, I don't know how to perform. Pax has been performing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Pax has been performing. So I could tell he wasn't nervous. He had some of his family, some of his people were coming in and stuff. I'm sitting there like, bro, shaking. Like, and it's an empty-ass bar.
That my first show, you know how they had the outside area?
Yeah, that patio.
Bro, I had like a fucking panic attack, and my aunt goes, I paid $20 to come and see you tonight. You better get your ass up on that stage.
Shit, basically, that's how he just told me. It's just like, bro, just go up there and just do that shit. So I was just like, all right. And as the night went along, you know what I'm saying, 6 Phones Armada pulled up, some other people pulled up, and it was just like, it was a dope time, bro. And now, again, that was like 2 years ago, but that was a question that I would have for somebody who's huge. Like, bro, how do you go about getting shows? How do you go about getting booked the right way? And my original point, I just wanted to tell that story.
No, that was a great story. Yeah.
But my original point was like, that was the first show. Ever since that show happened, after that show, I went to do a show with Pax. You know, he took me out to, what was that, Mount Orab?
I told you, when Charisma fucking came out here, he said,
we were talking about that.
Yeah, I was like, I've never heard of that shit, but I went out there and I was just like, me and Armada went out there for the sound check, and I don't know if you peep, he didn't come the night of the show.
No, I didn't even notice.
He was just like, yeah, I don't think I want to go back out there. I was just like, bro, you're tripping, you know, whatever. Like, it's chill. Like,
that building was fuller than most times in Afro, too.
That was dope. Yeah, bro, because there was only like fucking 8 people.
And it was everybody, it was all the other artists and all their families.
Right, but it was just like, at the Mount Orab show, that place was packed. Like, I couldn't see the fucking door. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And so, here I am now, fresh off this Mad Frog show. Like I said, it was like nerve-wracking, but I got through it. And at the end of the show, like, I was loving it. It was on an adrenaline rush. Like, that's my favorite thing about being an artist is fucking
performing. You got an
performing.
advantage coming out to, like, those, like, fucking town side areas, though.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like, you're from Columbus, right?
Yeah.
But, like, you do a show in Columbus, and, like, you're tight with, like, a lot of people, but, like, they don't pull up. And it's, like, you're in the middle of fucking Mount Orab. There's nothing else to do on a Friday night.
Bro, I'm getting to all that shit. Trust me. But, yeah, so that was the Mount Orab show. And that shit was dope because I met New Year there. Yeah. And now me and New Year are really good friends. Like, you know, I met a couple of different artists and shit there. But that, like, solidified it. Like, when it was my turn, okay, so it was just like, I'm going to speak the truth. I'm here at Mount Orab. I'm the only black person on this show tonight, right? And I don't know how these folks are going to take my music because I cuss a lot in my music. Yeah. I was saying a lot of cuss words. I actually remember... I don't know who it was, but there was an elderly lady in like the front, and I was doing scripture, And I, said dropped a couple niggas and said bitch.
I was my grandma, bro.
I thought it was your grandma because I was just like, bro, she was feeling the whole set. Listen, she was really rocking it, and then I dropped a hard bitch in one of the songs, like, and she was like, she did it, and I heard this shit. She was like, oh, and I was just laughing to myself, like, damn, bro. Like, that shit's crazy.
You were like unique at that show because everyone else kind of had like this like sad.
Everybody, but I was the only one that was like really performing turned up shit. But that's what I'm saying. That's like it solidified it for me. So I was just like, okay, now that I went out here to this city, to this town that I've never been to, don't know anybody at the show. Like I'm here literally by myself, and I did that shit, bro. I got people coming to me afterwards telling me good job. I didn't get booed off. As long as you don't get booed off, I feel like you did all right.
You won?
You probably had like the most like gain from that because like you didn't know anybody there.
Right.
And like probably like one of the hardest crowds, emo white kids.
It was just like I forget. I know the Mace guy went first, but it was like New Year, me, then Pax. So it was Pax's show, so he was headlining. So I was like basically like the last person. The mood had been set for the night, and like he said, it was a lot of like different emotional emo trap type songs. Some people were rapping and shit, but it was different from what the fuck I did.
Exactly.
So here I am, and the whole, like I said, the mood's been set. I come out, I do my thing, and people love it. Minus grandma on the last part, but.
It still counts.
You feel me? She was rocking with it. It was just I couldn't have said, I didn't have to say that shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to, but like I definitely heard her just drop that and I just started cracking up to myself like, bro, I fucking failed because I pissed grandma off. Like,
she hit me after the show and she was like, everyone there cussed so much.
Yeah,
bro.
How much time we got left, bro?
12 minutes.
All right, we're rocking for sure.
So, that was the second show. But then after those two, like, Pax was there for those first two. Yeah. After that shit, bro, is when Sam Rothstein came into the play. Started going to Columbus back and forth. Next thing you know, I'm doing a tour with Sam Rothstein to go to 5 different cities in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Go do a couple basement shows and shit at some people's house parties and stuff.
Before Corona?
Before Corona.
BC? Yeah,
BC, bro. 2020 BC. Went and did a interview with Gab Street, and they're in Columbus. And Joseph Keith, who's another artist up there, he's doing this thing and shit too. He was like, bro, I bet you I bet you $300 you can't do 10 shows before the end of 2020. My nigga, Corona hit. How we had March Madness, that would have been my 14th show in 2020.
Wow.
It
wasn't even March.
It was March 4th. Wow. Our show was scheduled March 4th. You feel me?
It wasn't even March.
Like, I perform at the basement in Columbus so bad.
I've been the basement. Scully's is a dope place. Scully's has a great. They got that video board.
They got the checker floor and everything.
Yeah, bro.
That's where I saw Kid Quill and he told me about my headline show that I was talking to you about.
I'm just saying, like, but that shit again, like my whole main point. I just talked a lot and said some stories and shit, but like I go back to just that moment. I'm like, bro, how do I gauge the crowd? You know what I'm saying? You know how I perform Fiji. I tell everybody to turn the fucking lights off, put the phone lights up, start waving them shits back and forth, and when the beat drops, we fucking moshing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, in my mind back 2 years ago or a year ago, I'm like, bro, how the fuck how does somebody say some shit to the crowd without sounding stupid? Like, what if I say it and nobody does it? I look dumb as hell. Like, questions I would have for people, I answered myself by just going through and living the experiences, bro. And that's just all you can do.
The best way to learn is to just do it.
That's all you can do, bro.
You gonna bump your head, but you gonna bump your head regardless.
But when you bump your head, you might find out that you like bumping your head and shit too. So it's just like, you feel me? It's like motherfuckers tell you, some people don't like it when you have the sets all on one. Some people don't like it when you have the sets and you just have to click to play and shit. Just keeping it about performing in shows and everything. But then, I make my own set, and I want my shit to sound like it would sound if it were in an arena or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to blend the songs together. I'm going to throw some sound effects in there and shit. And it's out the norm, but people like it. They like, you know, wherever I go
And
and
you
play
do
that
a lot
shit.
of engineering yourself.
I bump my head. I'm doing my shit my own way.
That's
but
how I
shit,
be
I
feeling.
like that shit.
That's how I be feeling, bro. That's how I be feeling. That's why when like Tyler the Creator, he'll say something like, you know,
sing this shit, y'all fucking dumb.
that for sure. But he's like,
right, or he'll just. I like the one where he just stands there.
yeah.
And like
Yeah,
everybody, that's
that
just
one.
like
That was
building
that
up
Who
the.
That
I
Boy,
forget. Yeah, that's that song.
That Who That Boy.
He's just standing there. I didn't see the whole
That's what that quote's from.
performance.
He goes, "Are y'all fucking stupid? There's like 5 pits, and if one stupid bitch would just move out of the way, it could be a big one."
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I'm weak as
That
fuck.
video
I gotta
is
go
hard as
watch
hell.
that shit.
No, it's hard as hell.
But yeah, he was just standing there. I just hear the, you know, the beat. I didn't even know the song all like that, but just hearing the beat was just. And he's just standing there, people going crazy and shit. I'm like, oh yeah, bro, something's about to happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't even have to tell motherfuckers to mosh up. Like, he just hit play. Or like, my favorite one is when Kanye was performing. Damn, what's this song, bro? I forget, but he just walked up to the piano, like he turned all the lights off in the arena, and he just goes ding, ding.
That's Runaway.
Is that the song? Okay. He just went and did that shit. He hit like those 4 notes, and everybody in the arena went crazy. Yeah, bro. Like, you already know what time it is, bro. It's nuts. It's a bunch of different ways that people go and introduce their songs and shit, and make their sets, you know, vary and different from everybody else's. I think J. Cole has a song where like it ends and then he plays it in reverse, and that's the beat of another song or some shit. Like, I've seen like a bunch of memes and shit, videos and shit on Instagram, but hopefully Corona goes the fuck away so niggas can start going back to concerts, because
Well, we're getting word of the show very soon, you know. So whenever the date happens, that's when
I just
it drops.
miss like festival. I've always wanted to go to like music festivals and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted to go to Rolling Loud. I heard Rolling Loud's gonna be in Kentucky coming up, and it's gonna be inside somewhere.
Yeah.
But like, you feel me?
Yeah. I feel like that's a lot of politics.
Yeah.
To get on the Rolling Loud. Which is, bro, you got to play the game a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But just be authentically you playing it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I'm not talking about me going and performing at Rolling Loud. I'm just saying like, it's like it's just gonna be indoors. You feel me? Like
that
Rolling
might be
Loud,
sweeter.
bro. That's what I
That
mean.
might be sweeter.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know how that's just gonna work. People are gonna be wanting to smoke, and you know, I heard people are gonna be getting their drugs off and shit.
Bro, I found out they used to do festivals at Riverbend.
I know, right?
How?
Like bro, this is back
Like,
when
they got like 4 stages, and like one of them set up in the parking lot, and there's like the actual arena.
the amphitheater one.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? I heard that fucking Jackson 5 were down at Cincinnati Gardens back in the day. And it's just like, that's the biggest concert that's ever come through Cincinnati or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, bro. Shit doesn't pop off anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just can't wait till Corona ends so we can get back to going and doing shit, bro. Like, I had so many plans, bro. So many plans for
You
this
gotta
year.
work for it.
You gotta adjust.
Throwing a rock in your face. It's like,
But
nah,
you know when this shit hit, I don't know if we about to stop or anything, but I just want to throw this in there.
You good? We got like
5 minutes.
5 minutes
Alright.
before I stop, and then we can just turn it back on.
I just wanted to say, like, I thought about all that shit. You know, I was just like, damn, Corona hit, quarantine. Like, I can't be able to do anything. Everything's closed, right?
Yeah.
My mentality changed, bro. Like, I remember the day that the switch went off in my head. It was just like, this isn't fucking it, bro.
Yeah.
Because just 2 weeks ago, when you woke up to go to work, you were pissed that you have to go to this fucking job when, you know, you got peers and shit who get to go to college and learn this shit. And now you're getting paid to stay home, and all you have time to do is work on your shit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, everything's closed and everything. You can't really do shit for the early parts of spring and summer, but I made Past First Present too. And all the songs that preceded it. Rockstar is in my room, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just nutty, bro.
In my room is fire.
It's just nutty how shit works out. So
Yeah.
it's a blessing
Bro.
and a curse, but
When,
it's just how you look at it.
When fucking Corona hit, bro, I picked up that camera, man.
Yeah.
I picked it up. I was like, let me start fucking with it. Let me start trying to put a story together.
Because how are you going to do Forex and shit when nobody's spending money across the whole world?
Yeah. Well, the stock market hasn't moved, but in stocks and Forex are different as currencies.
Oh, yeah.
Versus, so you can trade, like, realistically, people are making probably millions right now. Like, the good traders are making millions. Yeah, so it always goes up and down because currency is every day, but the stocks are the stocks. So that's different, so you can still make money, but still, a huge part of Forex is networking. And nobody's going to sign up for $350. People will, trust me. The people who do it, it's an investment, but you got to figure out what works for you. And Forex, the main reason why I stopped doing it is because it's like, bro, it's so mundane asking people. But I'd rather just create the environment to get people to.
I was hawking that shit, bro. I was like literally 2 seconds away from asking you. Like, remember in Wolf of Wall Street, Jonah Hill was like, bro, show me your fucking pay stub. I was like 2 seconds from asking you, like, bro, I'm done with this school work shit. Like, I'm done with this shit, bro. Like, how much do you make, bro? I was about to really, like, come after you.
And I wasn't making shit.
I know, and that was the thought. That was, like, my fear was, like, bro, what if he's just not doing shit?
I wasn't making shit. Serious, I wasn't making shit. Before I started Takeoff, I legitimately failed 2 businesses. Failed.
That's how it goes,
yeah,
though.
Like,
because now we got Takeoff, and it's like, shit, you halfway gone with the shit now. Like,
yeah, that's why
you put yourself in a position to where it's your call to how Takeoff goes.
Yeah. That's what I want. That's all I've ever wanted. Yeah. So, like how you were saying, how we here? We're here.
Yeah, bro. We
you know
here.
It's just about how you want to operate now.
We players in the game. That's what I mean. It's just like, so another thing about this whole journey and shit, right? Another like obstacle, I guess you could say, it was like making money.
Yeah. I
know me and you had a lot of conversations about how do we translate all this work that we do into money.
Yeah.
And shit.
Like, I don't want it to feel inauthentic. You know what I'm saying? But keep going.
Fucking, so like they went out of business, didn't tell anyone, and like I had like people be like, yo, like I bought this shirt 2 months ago. And I'm like, all right, what the fuck? So like I try to call them, no one picks up the phone. I didn't find out, like I was like, all right, it's just a lost cause. Like I basically was just like, there's nothing I can do about it now. A month and a half ago, I find out he goes, oh yeah, like I work exclusively for Charisma now. And he goes, because Charisma paid me more than I was making with the company. And I was like, okay, but you couldn't have fucking told anyone that you were going to shut down the whole site and shit? Like, you couldn't have told anyone, hey, we're not doing this project anymore? Because he left the site up for like 2 weeks after he fucking abandoned it.
Damn.
And like, people were ordering shit, and they weren't getting it. No one was working. So, bro, it was just all bad. He didn't tell anyone. People, I paid the person back myself. Whatever I felt bad about it. Damn.
That's crazy.
Shit happened, bro.
We were talking about we had to fade in and out. You feel me? Get everything set up, but we're back, everybody. We were talking about you about to drop some gems for the people. And
yeah. So
Patrick drop some gems too.
The other, I was just talking about this whole episode has just been about answering your own questions and like from where we were the last time we spoke, and to where we are now. And how a lot of different things have happened and transpired. And, like I said, one of the main things that we've been talking about as of recently is how to turn these efforts and stuff that we do every day into profit. Yeah. And that was a really big issue, like one of the, really big bumps in the roads for me when I was first planning this out and starting out. Like, how do they go from this, right, to the M's? How do we get to the yams? Right?
Yeah.
You feel me? So,
bro, I remember when you posted that and I was like, no, I posted that.
You feel me, bro? Like, these are questions.
I remember the last time we spoke on the phone. Yeah. And you were like, bro, I'm trying to get to the yams. And it took us right back to Martin, and I was like, oh,
bro, you ain't real, bro. That's real shit. Like,
it is.
Sitting there trying to figure out, bro, how do these motherfuckers get, like, just tell me, is it for show? Like, okay, like when the director says cut, okay, they come in, they take the fucking Gucci bag away with all the cash in.
Yeah, it's
all fake cash. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that should exist. But I'm just trying to figure out how do you make the money.
The actual money.
Right.
Not the shit that they show people. How are you
And
making
it's just like, well, and just any money.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be happy getting, you know what I'm saying, little $5 checks from streaming or whatever. Like, that's just
Yeah.
gonna add up, bro. So if I don't touch it and, you know, week to week or however they do it, month to month, like, that shit's fine. And if that's how it works, then okay, I know that the money's coming in. It's not about how do I make the money. It's about how do I get the streams to go up? Because the money is consistent getting a $5 check, right? But then if I go from like 500 plays to 1,000, 2,000 plays per song or whatever, that check is gonna increase.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck do I get the check? You feel me? The check can be 10 cents. As long as I get a check, I will be straight. You know what I'm saying?
Brandon and Mark were talking about that earlier about how like the streams themselves, like
It's
not
shit. It's only like
it's the merch and the shows that make the money.
exactly. And that's that's where my directive was. So it's just like, okay, like I know motherfuckers who get checks off their shit and shit. Like I said, I know different music artists and shit. So cool. But I've never once seen the check. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen the deposit. So I don't know how much these motherfuckers
It don't really come that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't come in and like, all right, no, you got to break out of that mindset of getting a check. It's not a check. It's like, okay, like it's a cash out. It's a Zelle here. It's a, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
however the fuck.
Like,
I've
however
never
it come in,
seen-
it's just, but it's
I
not
hear
that.
you talking about you got paid from Spotify. I'm waiting for my Spotify money to come. Cool. You're getting money from Spotify. I don't really give a fuck how much it is because in all reality it's probably like 15 to 20 bucks. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're still here in Columbus, motherfucker, you ain't getting no goddamn M's. Because if your ass was getting free M's from Spotify, your ass would be in California somewhere. So that's what I'm saying.
You gotta wait till you got like $10 built up to even cash out.
Type shit.
And I'm like, bro, I spent 3 months, and I'm like $950, and I'm like, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's how it works. Like that's cool. But the thing about what was getting to was as an independent artist when we're in this stage where we don't have anybody backing us financially, like the most of us, it's about, like you said, packs, the shows, and merchandise. And that's, a question that I had answered myself, on my journey. That's, what we've been talking about all day was just like, how do we get to this shit again? I thought that was something I'd have to sit down and talk to somebody who's made it or go to a fucking council or hear some shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but no, it's
some
just,
of it is that though.
Some of it is, like, they give you some dope gems, but you can start out. I learned by trial and error, you can start out by just making 18 shirts available on my Instagram in the fucking bio. Follow that link. You can start out by making that shit on Teespring and just telling a couple friends, you know what I'm saying?
It's about the human interaction, bro. You gotta be able to connect with that person.
You're only gonna monetize 3 to 5% of your audience, like
Exactly.
at the end of the day. So,
And
not to cut you off, but
yeah, and that's how you end up motherfuckers wearing yo shit. I'ma show y'all.
But that's the
Go get
coolest.
your 18
back it
shirts.
up just a little bit.
That's the coolest feeling ever.
Go get your 18 shirts.
It really is. Like when
Go
you
get
see
them.
someone, like when someone like
That's
sends you a
somebody's
picture of them
girlfriend.
wearing the shirt, and you're like, damn.
Not mine, but hey, your bitch wearing my 18 shirt, nigga.
Bro, that's like the real shit.
I'm just saying, bro. Like,
that's
I'm
always
just
been the
saying.
coolest thing is like when someone
I'm
sends you a
just
picture.
saying, guys.
No, yeah.
Like when someone sends you a picture of them wearing your shit, and you're like, damn, I really like made that
Hey,
shit.
bro.
Like it's like it means so much, and like
It's money.
eventually like you're gonna be selling thousands of those
That-
shirts.
And that's my whole thing, bro. Like I reference a lot on the album. I'm like, once you do one, all you need is 10 more. You know what I'm saying? But you already done one, so the hard part is over. You know what I'm saying? When I sold that first shirt, it was just like, cool. I got my little $18 commission or whatever, but like now I know how to sell a shirt.
Yeah.
And like you said,
Exactly.
Pax, I made that 118 design and so I made like 3 more. And then as I'm making 3 more, I'm like, oh shit, this little nigga Alvin and the Chipmunks wears a big ass red hoodie. Red is my fucking color, and he has a big ass A on the front. I'm about to make an Alexander A and put that shit on there, and that's about to be another style. That shit sells. It's
Smart.
just like, you feel me? Oh shit.
You just
Motherfuckers
being
wear
creative.
it. Yeah, bro, you just keep
bro.
going.
That's all you gotta do.
So, and that's just another thing. Like, you know, it's not about the showing. Like, it is about showing the shit. It is about being, you know, on Instagram. It is about having the shit look professional. But that's the thing. You want to, if you start your shit from the ground and it looks professional, it'll look 20, 30, 40, 50 times better than the person you're competing with whose shit is just like all over the place.
No.
I've set up my profiles. I've set up all my links. I got master links. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just a one link in bio person, but if you hit the link in my bio, it'll take you to 5 or 6 different links where you can see all my different shit across the web. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like little things like that make the difference in not just your attitudes and shit, but your products. You know what I'm saying? How people view that shit for the first time, that first impression can make, you know what I'm saying, an effect on somebody, and they'll fuck with you just off of that. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even have to hear your song. You don't have to hear one of your songs or anything. They can just look on your, since everything's online these days, like, you know what I'm saying, they can just see that or see one thing and then see another thing, and as long as you keep it, you know, looking clean and tidy.
Patiently aggressive.
Patiently aggressive.
That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. But you're building, man. I'm excited for people to hear. I've already heard your tape. It's good. It's great.
I'm excited for the people to hear it too.
It's getting to that point. It's like,
alright,
they ready?
Bag,
it is. I can't wait to shoot these videos, man. Can't wait. Let's get to them, bro. But we gotta get some food.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I need to stop and get some Moroccos too.
Feel it. But let the people know where they can find you, man.
Shit, man. If you don't know by now, it's slow for you. But all you gotta do is just hit Alxvndertha on wherever the fuck website you're on, and I'm right there, bro. I promise you. At Alxvndertha, both Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Alxvndertha, SoundCloud, Alxvndertha, Spotify with a space, man. That's all there is to it. If you get lost, just Google Alxvnder and follow the links, man. Google will lead you the way. 100. I'm out.
That's also another thing, like you were talking about, putting yourself in position to be found.
Mm-hmm. That's it, bro. Like, I was watching, like we talked about it in the last interview. I used to watch the Smart Rapper videos with Rob Level and shit. Yeah. And he would always talk about just making, you know, not only giving tips on how to get streams and not only getting tips on how to get people involved, but how to make your shit look more like a brand than versus somebody doing music. Right. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, you come across those artists and shit. I'm not saying they're they're not as good as me or I'm any better than them or anything like that. But if you compare one page to the other, one looks like a brand versus a person who makes music. You know what I'm saying? And I've gotten criticized for being both. Like, from higher ups, I've gotten, you know, people who, apparently my shit's not all the way professional, because motherfuckers still think it's, you know, this, that, and the third. But
bro, when you told me that, I was like, man.
Oh, bro, it's cool, bro.
No.
That's just the vibe up there. Like, it's just like, it's not anything like malicious, right? Yeah. It's kind of like how New York people are. How New York people are aggressive. Yeah. And it's just like, you know, whatever, like the vibe in New York is just kind of like, you know, real blunt, like just straight up facts or whatever. Like, that's just how motherfuckers are, bro. Somebody will not hesitate to tell you what the fuck they have on, what the fuck they can do. They, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I met dude, I've met him face to face. Like, I've known him, you know what I'm saying? He knows me. But he was a follow, unfollow type. Yeah, he's, you know, part co-owner of that shit. But, like, when I met him, he was doing the fucking show, and Philly G was in the show at a fucking hotel lobby. You know what I'm saying? In a rundown up there on the north side, bro, with the continent and shit. Yeah. That's where the niggas were at when we shook hands. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna hit me in the DMs like I'm doing this, that, and
that's some fake shit.
It's not fake, bro. That's just how they are, bro. Like I said, I know niggas up there in Columbus who can't do shit for themselves. They don't got 2 beans to put together. Like, bro, literally, they can't afford a can of fucking beans. But niggas are verified with 40K plus followers and will will ask you to, you know what I'm saying, hey bro, I need to borrow your car so I can go to my bitch crib. Like, cause I ain't got no fucking car. But you know what I'm saying, you my nigga, and you know I'm so and so. I gotta pull up at something. Nigga, all I got is a 2003 Mercury Sable, but like it's basically a Ford Taurus. But like you ain't pulling up looking nice, but at least you pulling up. Yeah. You know, you can't get out. You can't afford to get out of the passenger seat of somebody. You can't afford to have a ride. You gotta pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like stupid shit, bro. Shit that don't matter, bro. Yeah. But that's a motherfucker's lifestyle. That's a particular individual, a couple of people, but like a person I'm talking about individually. Like that's how they are. Like their mentality is like that. Motherfuckers, you know, ass out, crashing on people's couches night in, night out, but refuses to kick in on rent. And when motherfuckers come and ask about it, flexes up because they're verified, couple thousand on Instagram or on Twitter and shit. You know what I'm saying? They've been riding with the team or whatever, but like, you feel me? That's cool, nigga. These ends are due on the 1st. And your ass been in the fridge, blah, blah, blah. Like, it don't work like that, bro.
It doesn't, bro. When it comes time to actually do it, like, you gotta
be able to do it for yourself first. Before I say you always have to be able to do it for yourself first. If you can't do it for yourself, then you get help or you figure out how to do it for yourself. And then once you figure out how some way you can manage by yourself, then you go and break bread with others. Then you go and grow shit with other people. Then you go and make shit with other people. Because how are you gonna just say, you can always say that you're gonna, you know, oh yeah, I know I got this. Like, you can get a crib together and I can be like, yeah, bro, I'm, you know, oh yeah, I got all this shit, whatever. But on like quiet as kept, you know what I'm saying? When the motherfucking time comes, there's no, you know what I'm saying? We want to have short on some shit because I ain't got my end, and now you looking at me crazy, sweet over here. And I've had this front up, like, nah, bro. It's just sad that that's how some people are, and it's just like you live and learn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You just see how motherfuckers really cut.
Yeah. Like if you about that or not. I'm
just saying.
It comes time to put up or shut up, bro. Like it does. Every time. That's why you had made that comment earlier and it kinda like rubbed me the wrong way. I was like,
oh no, I was bullshitting with you, bro.
I know, but still at the same time it's like but you know, it's the ego though. You feel me? It's the ego. Like nah.
Even about that comment, bro. Like, look how bro moves. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go on this shit, everything looks dope as fuck, but the last time you heard from him was, and we're still waiting. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't judge, man. I'm not here to tell you how to run your race. I'm just saying when it comes time and the people come and they're picking motherfuckers, don't sit there with a long face because I'm working my ass off to get picked. Yeah. And I, you know what I'm saying, working my ass off to the point where I know I might not get picked first, but nigga, I'm gonna get picked. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna go, or I've got a plan to go around the shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting expecting. He's one of those people who expects to be picked. And when that time comes, you know what I'm saying? Right. He's not gonna be picked. He's gonna
can't just be floating around,
bro.
You gotta be like, all right, when I'm ready. Like Kevin Hart said it. He said, bro, if you don't know what a seatbelt is, if you don't know what the buttons do, you have a fucked up rocket ride
type shit.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about making sure that you're prepared. So when the time comes and the trigger gets pulled on you, you feel me? Like you're off to the races.
Mm-hmm. That's all it is to it, bro. Yeah. And that's all it is, and that's you just don't quit. You just don't stop. You know what I'm saying? As long as you do something, one thing that works towards you, you don't gotta make. Like I hear a lot of artists talk about, you know, like try to make one song a day. Like that's tough. I've tried it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've probably gone like maybe 4 or 5 days and then I'm burnt out by like Saturday. I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear another beat for like a week. You know what I'm saying? But that's when you go work on the merchandise, or that's when you go take a course on how to get on Spotify playlists or some shit. That's when you go and find extra shit.
Exactly.
As long as
there's different, like, people get so caught up in like just one aspect of the business. So they're like, oh, this isn't working out. It's like, yo, why are you burning yourself out? You can easily tap out and go over here.
You can't even tap out. The thing about being caught up in the one aspect that everybody wants to be caught up in, which is recording, is like literally a tenth of being an artist.
An artist, yeah.
Whether you're independent or signed, bro, recording, like, it's a big part. Like, don't get me wrong.
It's not the end all be all.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like, just being, like, I'm just talking about, like, not writing music and shit out, but I'm just talking about, like literally vocalizing, talking into the microphone, being in the studio is only, like, 10% of being a music artist.
Because your networking skills are great.
I mean, not even just mine, just like in general. Like, you need music in order to be an artist, right?
Yeah.
But how many artists do you know who haven't put out songs in years who are still relevant because of other shit? TV, radio personalities. They be on TV shows or reality shows, podcasters. You know what I'm saying? Look at Joe Budden. Yeah. Look at Joe Budden. Joe Budden has like one song. He has more than one song, but he made it off of one song, bro. And I don't think he's ever recorded anything, or I've never heard anything after.
Well, he has a catalog, but as far as the acclaim that you're saying,
right?
Yeah, nah. But
he's still around, yeah, right? You say Joe Budden and you know who the fuck he is, right? It's just like, you know what I'm saying? So you just gotta take that time to really figure out everything, and the best time to do it. And I feel like the best times that artists have, honestly, in my opinion, are these times. Before you get signed, before you make it quote unquote big. Like, yeah, you have dope times, and yeah, tours are cool and shit, but that shit is really stressful. Because you have to be on your P's and Q's. You always got cameras on you and shit. You always got this, that, and the third. Bullshit be happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers is crazy, just want to touch you and shit. They try and they'll pull up to your house at 4 o'clock in the morning just so they can see you and shit. Like, all types of random shit happens as a music artist. And that's the shit that we all want, and that's the shit that we all got to get to, but we need to know how to get there first. And it's not just your music. Your music can be fire. I know there's plenty of people whose music is way better than mine, and probably better than some of the people that we all know and shit. But they're not where they need to be. They're not where they deserve to be because they haven't deserved it.
Yeah,
I gotta
deserve what you want.
Did you pick up the shit? What song did I say that shit in? But I was just like, the Alexander Blues. I was just like, niggas want what I have, but niggas go get what they get because niggas don't give what I give.
Yeah.
Like, that shit, bro, is literally, that's it, bro. Like, that's literally it. Niggas see what I got. They want what I got. Niggas want what I have, but niggas won't get what I get because niggas don't get what I give.
Don't put in that time and that effort.
And that just doesn't go to recording or writing. You know what I'm saying? That goes into making sure my videos are straight. That goes into making sure I have different videos to appeal to different people. That makes sure I have, connections. That goes to make sure my, concerts and shit go right. Mm-hmm. Which means I have to make sure my set is straight. Which means I have to know how to work my fucking system. And every little thing trickles down into something small, and that's why I'm saying, like, my philosophy is you want to touch grounds and at least have a basis of knowledge of every aspect. Even if you have to pay somebody or have to have external service done or external work for some shit, right? At least at that point, enough, you know what I'm saying, to know that one, you're not getting scammed out of too much work, you know what I'm saying, or you're not getting scammed and paying too much money or some shit for shitty work, and you know what the fuck you're talking about, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to talk to a producer and link up with a producer, right? But if you don't spend so many hours working on your own craft, if you make songs trying to sound like the next artist or whatever, right? Then when those producers who feel those songs that you made come to you and try to make those custom beats for you, try to work for you, you don't know what the fuck to tell them because you don't spend no time working on shit. All you know are Uzi type beats, you know, Baby type beats,
gotta get on
whoever
YouTube.
Type beats and shit.
Gotta get on YouTube when it comes to that. Yeah.
You gotta spend time, and that requires time and money. You know what I'm saying? Because producers don't just send you a catalog of beats for free unless you get to know them and you get cool or whatever. You have that shit established. But like, you gotta spend money. You're gonna spend money on beats that you won't ever use because you'll, you know what I'm saying, have some shit, you'll write to it or whatever, and you realize it's just not it. You'll save it. You might come back to it later, however you manage and deal with it. But like, now you know when the next producer comes and they're like, bro, what type of beats do you like? You know, shit, I like, you know, melodic trap beats. I like shit that I can rage to and perform to. I like shit that has pianos and saxophones in it. I like shit that's, you know, 143 BPMs and shit versus this. My, you know, best notes come in the A minors and all that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get to know that shit. But if you just pay a producer, if you just buy studio time from day one, like, yeah, you got that sound. Your shit sounds dope. Because, you know, you went to wherever studios or whatever, but if you don't got that $50 an hour, then you ass out. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to make the shit yourself. So that's why you should spend time, you know, making those shitty songs that are gonna get 13 plays or whatever on SoundCloud that ain't gonna get, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And just go through those ranks, bro, because everybody's going through that shit. But at the end of the day, when you get to so-and-so studios, now you know to tell that motherfucker, man, turn me up in this, turn this down, I need my EQs at this, man, nah, there's too much auto-tune, you know, reverb this, delay that shit, and whatever, how the fuck you make your shit, bro? But you gotta crawl before you walk. You gotta walk before you run, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta run before you can fly, god damn it, you know?
What you gotta do before you fly?
Shit.
What's after flying?
Smoking. You gotta smoke before you can fly.
Gotta smoke before you can fly.
God damn.
Man, nah, you spoke nothing but facts, bro. That's just, I appreciate that.
And all of those, and everything that we talked about, everything that I talked about were like barriers, right, that would keep me from wanting to dive in as an artist. Like, these are questions that I was asking myself at like 16, 17.
Yeah.
And like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, it's just like leaning in and out. Like when somebody turns a beat on, I'm freestyling and I'm doing this and I got, you know, shit written in notepads, but I've never recorded on the microphone. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm scared that somebody's gonna walk in and hear me rapping and it's not gonna sound cool to them.
Right.
And I'm gonna have that feeling that I'm making a fool of myself. I just need to stop and just go to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever the fuck. So these were, everything that we talked about were just some of the points, you know what I'm saying, that are some of the questions that I had myself, and I felt like I would have to ask somebody else, but it wasn't until I just stood on my 10 toes and jumped into this shit that, I realized I answered all these questions myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's just shit for the people out there, man. Like, I got this kid, his name's 75 Danger FI. He's an 11-year-old and he's out in London, and he hit me up in the DMs, and he just, you know, wants to work with me, and he's always asking me questions and all this stuff, and I just tried to tell him, like, you know, we were talking about one of his songs the other day, and I was just telling him, like, you know, bro, from a listening standpoint, like, you're doing this really well, but these things, you know, you can do these things, add reverbs and auto-tune or whatever, pitch correction, to enhance your sound, so you don't sound as flat. Right. Coming from somebody who's made 2 albums sounding flat as fuck, you know what I'm saying? From a microphone that they're holding and moving on the, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Like, coming from somebody who's done this shit, if this is what your earliest shit sounds like, you're way ahead of the curve, you know what I'm saying? And you're only 11 fucking years old. Right. Like, that's crazy. Because when I was 11, nigga, I was out riding bike. I wasn't thinking twice about, you know what I'm saying? If you said something about rapping, like, yeah, I would tell you I want to be a rapper, but, like, I wouldn't know what the fuck rappers do.
That's what I was saying about Pax, man. Like, bro, like, you sound like something that would get played on the radio, like, at 17. And you're only 17. At 17, I was thinking about nothing but females. Like, let's be real.
Bro.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, shout out to you. Applause to you. You know what I'm saying? For having this type mindset. You know what I'm saying? And it's still a long way to go, bro.
I feel like for a lot of people, it's just money. Like, not even like getting money, but like spending money.
Yeah.
Like they're not willing to spend anything. Like the microphone I just bought is only $100, but it's better than a $20 microphone or a microphone in your phone. Like it helps.
Right.
It's got a fucking $80 mixer. Like you can get the cheap shit and make your shit sound really good.
You can get by piece.
Yeah.
That's the shit that I come
People be
across
spending
that
so
first,
much
bro.
money in a studio when you could literally buy like 3 little tools and do the exact same thing.
That's literally my mindset. It's just like, why would I go and spend and pay somebody who doesn't know how the fuck I want the song to sound, who then can change their price and be like, oh, because since I already did all this work for you and you want me to change it, now you have to pay me this. I'm at their mercy. Right. Why would I go and put myself in that situation when I can learn how to do the shit myself first?
Well, I pay $50 an hour at a studio, and you can spend $200 and make the same shit that they.
You can spend for the same 4 hours you go to the studio. You can spend that money and
do it forever.
Right. I bought my fucking iMac laptop microphone. Well, I got the microphone from Clutch, but the mic stand, the audio interface, the speakers and monitors, and the laptop all together cost me probably about $700. At $50 an hour at Timeless Studios, that's what? 700 by 50. What is that? Like 3.5 hours?
14 hours.
That's 14 hours? Yeah, so that's like half a day of recording. One day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm probably making an EP or a mixtape or some shit, but for that same price, I now have everything I need to make the shit from the comforts of my own room.
And not only that, fucking never have, do it as long as you need.
You feel me? It's just different mindsets, bro. Some people think, like I know people who, you know, would go the other route, and they're like, nah, you need the studio. And while they're in the studio, they got the video cameras and all this shit. Boom, boom, bow. Oh, their shit looks really dope, but when the song come out, it's ass because they can't fucking rap.
Well, dude, they have the fucking like at studios, they'll have like engineers, but the engineers they're
right. They work there, so they're not your engineer.
Yeah, so they don't care about your project.
Yeah, they can't. Like they'll listen to you, but if you don't know what to tell them, which you know what I'm saying, you won't
gotta
get
have
to
people that care.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to.
Like, and it's something that I'm not saying it's easy to learn because like production takes fucking years to master.
Yeah,
and shit.
oh yeah.
But at least you can start.
In a month, you could learn at least how to fade a song in and out, how to make your vocals sound tight over a track.
That's what New Year was talking about. He was telling me how he's been learning to record himself and shit. And I was surprised, like, damn, bro, like you never recorded yourself before. Like I thought.
Nah, he had a homie that has a studio.
Exactly,
so
like he's got it like that. So,
but
it's his homies though, so like his homies gonna look out for him. Right. If you're talking about Chris down at Timeless, like he might. You know, Chris will fuck with you and he'll make the shit sound, you know, how you want it to sound. But that's what I mean when I say, like, I take the time to learn that shit.
Exactly.
So now I know what to tell Chris versus just leaving it up to him. And he, like Pac said, like, Chris doesn't give a fuck if my shit goes platinum or gets 10 fucking plays, you know what I'm saying? So he's just gonna slap the shit and make it sound, you know, decent. And it is what it is. Yeah. And if I need a new mix, it's probably gonna be a couple $100 or some shit.
It's an investment. It's an investment mindset versus a poor mindset. Mm-hmm. If you like, all right, I can invest and get way better equipment because I can make my money back.
I can build my shit up.
You know what I'm saying?
When you get done with one piece, you sell it, and then you use that and pay for your next.
You don't have to be rich to think rich.
Exactly.
No, thinking rich makes you rich.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Having the money doesn't make you wealthy.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of dumbasses that have won the
lottery.
Having
money don't make you rich. Yeah.
There's a lot of lottery winners that got that money and then fucking
in a year.
Debt. They're in debt. Millions in debt.
Could be me.
It could be me.
Nah.
That's some shit that I don't know.
That's too much money. That's too much money.
It depends, bro.
After
like,
a year not to have any of it,
I
unless you invested
I would
it.
put some shit. Yeah, I would.
Unless you
definitely,
invested it, no.
If a lump sum shit came to me, yeah, like I would definitely keep some shit back. But like, I know it could be me just based off my paychecks. Like I have all these plans and shit, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm budget my money out, but then I see an HBO Max commercial showing all this shit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm about to spend this money. Or I'm playing Madden or some shit, and I'm trying to draw cards or some shit, and I'm like, bro, I'm not finna pay money for no fucking cards, but keep getting my ass kicked. $30 down the drain on Madden,
I'll
bro.
take
You know
getting my ass kicked on a video game versus spending money.
I tend, and I'm not playing video games like that.
No,
like,
no, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
It just happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like if you like doing something, then do it. But don't let that stop you from making.
I'm saying, if the check comes, we gon' spend.
Yeah,
but I've been through But I've been through enough in life to know, like, nigga, you better put some shit in your pockets.
Think about like, say you want $15 million. That's enough to set you up for the rest of your life.
Right.
Live normal and then just buy a few extravagant things.
Type shit.
Like, who cares? Like,
be smooth. Like,
you get a house like this, but there's a Lamborghini in the front yard. It just makes the house look better.
But see, like, if I got hit with $15 million, I'd probably put $5 in the bank.
And that's enough for your kids.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just have that shit. And then I wouldn't just come up. I'd probably get new clothes and shit. But, like, I wouldn't just burn $10 million. You know what I'm saying? I'd, like you said, live normal and then gradually move up. But at the same time, just personally, I'm going to find out how to make that money work for me. So that shit just starts doing it on its own, bro. Like, that's how you get it. Like, you can sign the deal for millions and millions of dollars, because once that millions and millions of dollars runs out, that's it. That's all you did with it. If you don't figure out,
and the label gets to decide whether or not you're worth money.
Right, bro. Yeah, you're basically up to the mercy. But if you don't decide, or you don't figure out how to make that money, a piece of that money at least work for you in the meantime while you got it, then, you know what I'm saying, your ass out. You can get to the end of that million, or you can get to the end of that contract, and the label can decide whatever. It wouldn't even really matter what the fucking label decide, because you still got $25 million from your fucking shoe deals or some shit, or your commercials, or your movie rights or some shit.
It'd be those rappers that get unhappy in like their like contract deals, and like it's not even that they got fucked over. It's that they got paid $10 million, spent it all, now they don't want to put out the albums for them, or some shit like that.
Like, I like to look at artists like Dave East, you know, like Lil Durk, and like these are like worldwide known niggas, but it's just like Dave East in specific. He like his album didn't do too well. His last album, The Survival, didn't do too well. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite shits. But I guess he's been considered on a decline, but to some people,
comes in waves.
Right. But he's not hurting for none, because he's doing the Wu-Tang shit. Him and Joey Badass play Wu-Tang members, Method Man and RZA or Jizza or some shit. And it's just
Chance the rapper. He's independent still, and you know he's making
millions. But didn't he just do the show where he was the judge on the rap shit? So that's what I'm saying. That's a whole bag, bro.
Right.
Like,
and he's independent as fuck. He ain't have no one telling him what to do. He does what he wants to do, puts it out on his time, and still makes the money.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's more than that shit, and that it doesn't necessarily have to stick with just music. Like, when you're talking about just making the money work for you and using your platform to like make your shit pop, I like to look at DC Young Fly, bro. DC Young Fly is like one of the most hardest way, and that's why I said, like, I respect Nick Cannon and shit too. Like, Nick Cannon doesn't have to be the best. When you're a person of that stature, bro, it doesn't matter if you're the best. Cause you know who else was rapping and who's fucking famous for a lot of shit and rich as fuck? Shaq,
Ludacris,
Master P. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's hella people, Bow Wow. There's hella people
Shout out to Soulja Boy.
There's hella people that's come and gone and like dabbled in rap, and their music may not have been the best, but like they're still that fucking person. You feel me? Michael Jordan wasn't the best fucking baseball player, but goddamn, he's still Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And every time he went up to bat, no matter where the fuck he was, that stadium was sold the fuck out to watch this 6'6" nigga strike out. You know what I'm saying? All awkward looking playing baseball at 6'6". Like, I don't know how the fuck he was doing that shit. I'd be scared as shit to play baseball. Niggas would be running. Pow! That shit hit your long, lanky ass knee. That's, you know, I got a problem with knees, nigga.
Bro.
Knees is sensitive. Knees is sensitive.
Bro, that's how Childish Gambino be.
What do you mean?
Like, you talking about?
No, he's
Oh yeah,
he's
bro.
on TV.
Yeah, Childish Gambino. Yeah, he's another one.
That's Donald Glover. I saw
Donald
Donald Glover as a comedian and an actor on
Bro,
Community, and then he popped off.
You know what's crazy? You want to know something that's so crazy? He's so good at that shit that I didn't know Donald Glover and Childish Gambino were the same person.
Right.
Like I didn't know when I think he came out as Gambino.
That's how it's supposed.
But he was acting under Glover.
Yeah, he was Donald Glover, and he got like a little bit of fame from Community. So like when he first like became Childish Gambino, everyone was like, oh, yeah. He has a line where he says, "Why does every black actor gotta rap something?" And like that's how everyone was talking to him because like he was a comedian.
I couldn't tell you. Like I could hear him. I could watch him in a movie, and I could hear his song, and I could tell you I would sit here and argue that they're two different people.
Oh yeah.
And it just wouldn't even click that they're just the same. You feel me?
That's because like he has a Gambino switch where like he'll go, all right, I'm Gambino now. This is like who I am. This is Gambino, and then like it's right back to Donald Glover.
Where do you think that comes from?
Normal.
That shit's all. That shit. I mean.
That's all.
I'm not saying he's bipolar or anything, but I feel like the shit like that is for the camera. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever seen him in an interview?
Yeah.
He don't act like a rapper.
Yeah, he's just normal.
He's just vibing. And they're like, oh, you're Childish Gambino. He's like, I guess I am.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that shit.
Yeah. You know, like when I first started doing podcast shit, bro, I psyched myself out from thinking that it was more than just a camera right there. Like, it's just a fucking camera. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta treat it like anything else.
It's
but
just a conversation.
Like you were saying, I can also dress it up and be like, oh yeah, if I need to. You know what I'm saying? But bro, you just you switch it up when you need to, bro.
Yeah, you
switch it up when you need
like
to.
You know that like you don't have to have the same energy you had in the intro that you do in the middle of it.
Right.
Like you don't have to carry that energy the whole time because now it's a normal conversation and the cameras don't matter.
Exactly. Cameras do matter.
Cameras definitely.
I knew you was about to say that shit.
They do. They really do. Look. But no, man. I had a great time. We gotta go shoot these videos though.
Yeah.
So let's get after it.
Let's go get this food, bro.
We'll catch you guys soon, man. Peace out.